Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you another granola recipe. This is one of my favorites. It's a matcha granola, and the thing I love about granola is that it's so customizable. So if you have different nuts, different dried fruits, you don't have this chocolate, whatever, you can totally make substitutes and it's still going to be awesome. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take about a cup of any kind of nut. I'm using walnuts and I'm just giving them a coarse chop. I kind of like finer pieces of nut in my granola. So that's what I'm doing here. Next, I took a handful of some dried apricots. This is probably around a half of a cup, but if you don't have apricots, you can use dried cherries, you can do dried cranberries, you can do raisins, whatever you feel like, or even a mix of two is really good. Next, I'm going to take about 1/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. I'm choosing to kind of cut mine up coarsely because I don't want like one giant block of chocolate, like a chocolate chip, in my granola because I like to eat this for breakfast and stuff. So I like to cut it up a little bit smaller and just get that flavor kind of distributed throughout. So next, for the base of our granola, I'm going to take 2 cups of rolled oats along with 1 cup of steel cut oats. If you don't have steel cut oats, no problem, just sub it out for the rolled oats. I just have a bunch of steel cut oats I have to get rid of. So next, I'm adding 3 tablespoons of flaxseed for some extra nutrients. If you have hemp hearts, if you have chia seeds, you can totally use those. So whatever you have on hand, but I really have been loving flaxseed. Next, I'm going to add a pinch of salt just to give it like a little, to keep you on your toes, you know? Next, I'm adding my tablespoon of matcha powder. This is a vanilla matcha, and once it bakes, it smells so good. It smells like so sweet, and just adds such a nice flavor to the matcha, or to the granola. And in fact, I actually don't add very much sugar to this recipe, and in part it's because that vanilla flavor is really sweet. So then I added some sesame seeds and also my chopped nuts. I probably added about 1/4 of a cup of sesame seeds. And then I'm adding some coconut flakes. Normally I would add unsweetened, but I only had sweetened on hand. So I'm going ahead and adding about 3/4 to 1 cup of coconut flakes. Next, we're going to melt our wet ingredients. So you can use any liquid sweetener that you have. I have coconut nectar on hand, so I'm going ahead and melting 1/3 of a cup of that into the pan. 90% of the time though, I use maple syrup. So go ahead and use whatever you have. You could use honey, you could use agave, whatever. Then I'm also adding a heaped tablespoon of coconut oil. If you wanted to make this oil-free, you could use just more of the liquid sweetener. Also, my dog loves coconut oil, so that was her begging for some. So once that's all melted, I'm going to go ahead and pour that into my oat mixture. It might not look like very much at first, but trust me, if you go and mix it and just keep mixing, it will all come together. So once it's combined, I'm going to go ahead and spread that onto a lined baking sheet. And then once it's spread in an even layer, I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the oven at 325 degrees for about 20 minutes, keeping an eye on it to see if it's browning. In the last 5 minutes though, I won't go ahead and I mix in my add-ins, so my dried fruit and my chocolate. I like to add this in because it kind of melts in there and gets all combined, so there's not like random chunks of granola that don't have like the add-ins in it. And so yeah, that's why I add it in the last 5 minutes and then take it out. If you add it in at the beginning, it's actually gonna burn and it's not gonna be good. So yeah, this is your finished granola. I love this granola recipe. I think my favorite thing, if you can have a favorite thing about quarantine, is making things homemade. And this is just one of the best things that you can make homemade, in my opinion, because it's so easy. So yeah, then I'm just taking a glass jar and scooping this in. If you have a mason jar, that's perfect. But I just am reusing a jam jar here from Costco. And you can see that the granola gets really like clumpy and big, so if you want to keep it in those clumps, you totally can. Just make sure you let it cool entirely before you break it apart. But yeah, this is the finished product, and it will store in this for about a week, but honestly, my family and I eat it in like 3 days. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this recipe, and I'll see you in the next one.